Well, it took us most of the morning to get set up, but we've got half of the greenhouse. The tables are complete. We got a whole bunch more pallets to carry in here to get this side done. If you're around here close and you have some or know anybody that's got some plastic pallets, hit me up because we could certainly use them. I love these plastic pallets because there's so many holes in them that they drain really good when the flats are on them, and they never rot. They're light and easy to carry in and out of here. But we're gonna get started transplanting. What we are doing this year that's different than what we did last year. Last year we went straight from the plug flats into the 10-inch hanging basket. The problem with that is if we were to seed just these few trays here all in hanging baskets already, we'd have the floor setting full. And so we're trying to it really boils down to saving propane and space. By saving space we save propane, because the less greenhouse space that we have to heat, the less propane we're going to burn. So we're going to stage our plants up this year. It's a good way to do it, and I know a lot of guys that used to do that with tomatoes. They would transplant them twice before they left the greenhouse. But that's what we're going to do with our petunias and some of our other flowers that are going in hanging baskets that we've already started with. But we're going to take them out of these 288 cell flats, 100 cell flats, and transplant them into these 50 cell flats, and crank the heat up in here and the fertilize and get these babies pumped up. I'm not real happy with the quality of our transplants we got. We only got charged for the ones that are there. You can see they're missing a lot, and they're also very small, which I'm very disappointed in. Last year we got petunias in, they were in 288 cell flats like this, and they were this size, and I was very pleased with them. And this year not so much, but you'll have that, I guess. So anyway, we're gonna get started transplanting. This soil that we're working with here is less than ideal for what we're using it for. It's not that it's bad potting soil, but it's a cheaper potting mix. It's got a lot of pine bark in it. That's why it's cheap. Or nothing's cheap, but it's cheaper than the full peat moss that we prefer to use, like Pro Mix. After we run out of this, we're going to be switching to Pro Mix BX. This is what we got right now, and we've got about a pallet of it, so this is what we're using. But this soil with this junk like this in it makes it less than ideal when you're trying to plug in little plants, particularly when you're using these little tubes. I'm not sure what they call this, but you can see there's like a little paper tube kinda. So if you know how a sausage stuffer works, that's how they make this stuff. It's like shooting the propagation mix into this tube, and it shoots it out of the end and chops them off in little 1.5-inch long pieces, and they drop the little pieces in these 100 cell trays. And most stuff is propagated like mums, for instance, where they cut tips off and stick them in the soil and babysit them until they take root. That's what they use, is these bigger 100 cell plugs. The stuff that the petunias that we've got down here in 288 cell plug flats, and they are not in these tubes, and they're much smaller and easier to deal with as far as transplanting them. These are the trays that our strawberry plants come in. Pretty good trays. We used to get strawberries in trays that were not nearly as good as this. We still reused them to save money, but these are pretty good. These 50 cell trays here are pretty good trays. I think these are going to be really pretty. Obviously everything's miniature. Flowers will be bigger than that. I've actually we've never gotten plugs in that have flowers on them yet. So these are a lot more mature, but hopefully that means they're ready to hit the ground running. So this is what I was talking about, being disappointed with the petunia plugs that we got this year. Oh yeah, we're on the 288s now. These are much easier to plant and deal with than those great big whatever they call them things, something pots that I showed you a while ago. You see how much smaller these are. I'm about to stick a Sharpie in and drop them in the hole and go. We can plant 288 faster than we were planting 100 a while ago. Alright, well, my back and neck are about to break off from bending over that table, but we have got 1,700 and some Calibrachoa and Petunias transplanted. And these will stay in these flats for, it depends, kind of depends on our schedule and how they progress, but we'll try to keep these in these flats for a pretty good while before we pot them up into hanging baskets, because as you can imagine, it's a pretty big event when we start potting up hanging baskets, because it's the biggest bottleneck is getting the soil mixed and filling baskets. It takes a lot of soil to fill enough 10-inch hanging baskets to plant all of these. Not all of these will go into hanging baskets. We do put some in 1801s, which is an insert. I don't have any here to show you, but it's basically a tray this size, but they call it, trays are sized by, like, a lot of our vegetable plants will plant in a 1203. That means that there's 12 packs in a tray, and then each pack has 3 cells. So 1801s means there's 18 cells in a, or 18 packs in a tray, and 1 cell per pack. So it's basically like a 4-inch pot, but a less expensive version. So we do quite a few petunias in 1801s because people like to buy them and plant them in their little flower gardens and planters so that they can run over the sides. But anyway, we put about 3 to 4 petunias per basket depending on what we're doing. So when you take out the ones that we'll put in flats, you're looking at 350 hanging baskets of petunias here. So just to give you a little perspective, this greenhouse right here, if I hang 2 pots between each sprinkler head all the way down, the sprinkler heads are 4 foot apart, this thing's 104 foot long, you can do the math. If I put them 2 between each one and 2 between each bow on this light conduit, 2 between each bow on this one, and 2 between each bow on there, this greenhouse holds somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 hanging baskets. I got some other stuff that I'm going to do, but I think I'm going to start a new video on that. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time.